What's up, guys? How's it going? It is Matt here. So we're going to be talking about the real reason the Marine Corps is having recruitment issues and why there's a lot of people that aren't going in. And I'm basing this off of an article that I read the other day. There's a general that was actually complaining, saying that we need to start being nicer to our junior Marines, so we keep these people in longer, so they re-enlist, because we're running out of Marines and we need experienced Marines overseas. So I'm going to talk about the real reason why most people, after their 4-year contract, get out of the Marine Corps as an infantryman. They just say, no, I'm done. I'm leaving the Marine Corps. Now, before we get into that, guys, I'm going to give you a shout out to my friends over at Call Beyond Duty Coffee. They're a bunch of veterans and first responders that make really good coffee. I absolutely love them, and I've talked about it before. My favorite blend is a Reveille blend. It's really good. If you like really good organic coffee, the link is down below in the description. It's an affiliate link. Go ahead and click on that and go and get your subscription, or just try it out, or get one of their sample packs. It's really good. Now, let's get into this video. So, what is the real reason why Marines are getting out so early? Now, when I joined the Marine Corps, it was a 4-year contract. Just like every other Marine, it's a 4-year contract how you start with. And basically speaking, when I originally joined, I went to the boot camp and stuff like that. I was super excited. I was all about the whole ethos, the honor, the courage, the commitment. Honor, courage, commitment, recourse. I was all in. This is awesome. I'm going to do the best thing in my life that I've ever done. I'm going to make a difference in the world. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to be the best me I can possibly be. I'm a Marine. I'm proud of who I am. When I enlisted, I wanted to make a career out of it. I wanted to get out as a minimum of as a gunnery sergeant. That would be an E7. I wanted to get out as a minimum of a gunnery sergeant or a master sergeant, and that's like when you get up there, you're talking 20 years, give or take. I really wanted to do it, and I was like dead set on just making a career out of it, until I got into Fleet Marine Force. Now, as an infantryman, is you go through boot camp. Obviously, every Marine goes through boot camp, so it's a 3-month boot camp. Then after that, you go off to your school. So infantry goes out to the School of Infantry, whereas everyone else goes to MCT. They get a little taste of infantry, then they go into their actual specific job training. The School of Infantry for us was a 3-month type of thing. So it was like 2.5, but it turned into like 3.5 months. All right. It's just because you have to wait to get picked up to your unit and all that other stuff. After we graduated SOI, we got a little time off because it was a holiday, so we got like a week off for leave. And then I flew out to California, in 29 Palms, California, where I was stationed. Once I got into Fleet, everything that I've been taught up to that point through boot camp, through the School of Infantry and stuff like that, when it came to the Marines, the honor, courage, commitment, the God, country, corps, all that stuff that I had been taught had just gone away, had just disappeared, because it was still ingrained in me. And I was still proud of that, and that was what I was going to base it off of. But when you started coming across all these senior Marines that didn't follow that, they just didn't follow that whatsoever. I think it's the best way to explain it is the Marine Corps at my time felt broken to me. It felt broken to me. Like there wasn't a connection between what the actual ethos of the Marine Corps was and what was actually going on in the Fleet Marine Forces infantry. It felt pretty broken to me. I remember we picked up in our unit, and we were going up to 29 Palms, and I remember the first thing we did was getting yelled at by senior Marines. We didn't even know who these guys were, just because they weren't. They were plastered because it was a weekend when we showed up. They were plastered. A couple were throwing beer bottles at us and stuff like that. We're like, what the heck is going on? I remember going upstairs, and they said, go talk to this dude. So I go upstairs, talk to this dude. He's playing a video game, drunk out of his mind, and he pulls down his pants and starts doing a freaking helicopter. He's like, oh, what did you think of that? And I'm like looking at him like, everything that I thought about, like the honor, courage, commitment, God, country, corps, I was looking at this. I'm like, what the heck is going on? And am I in the right place? And is something wrong with this base? Did I pass through space and time and end up in a different portal? Something just didn't seem right to me. Like everything, it literally felt like the Marine Corps to me was broken. I was proud of being a Marine, and I stuck to the ethos because that was just like ingrained in me, even from a young kid. I had those morals, but it was ingrained in me to do that. But I was noticing the senior Marines, the team leaders, the squad leaders, and stuff like that. That stuff just wasn't there. There was a few that still had it. There's a few career guys that still had it, but for most part, most of the senior Marines and most of the squad leaders and team leaders just didn't have it. And it was just like this thing. It was just like, wow, what the heck is going on? It's almost like put a bad taste in your mouth. And then what happened is what we would do as a junior Marine. As a junior Marine is you get a lot of what's called working parties, right? So you get a lot of working parties. So basically something needs to get done around the fob or the base or something like that. And what you do is they get a working party together. Okay, you guys are burning shit today. Okay, you guys are doing this today. Now, as a junior Marine, you just expect that that's going to be coming at you all the time because it's a junior Marine. You got to kind of earn your way up and stuff like that too. So after the first few months, it was kind of a pain in the butt, and then another few months later, it was a pain in the butt, and then a year later, and you're still doing them. You're like, what the heck is going on? Then 2 years later, you're still doing these working parties. You're like, what's going on? Then your second deployment, after you've been through one deployment, you're still doing all these crappy working parties. When you're watching junior Marines not have to do these working parties, you're like, what the heck is going on? Something is just not right here. What was going on, it was what we dealt with is, and a lot of Marine Corps deals with this, is it's like a form of toxic leadership, a toxic leadership. So I can basically put it in terms like this. There are cliques, like high school cliques, I guess as we call it. We didn't call it cliques back in my day, but that's what they call it now. So they'd have like high school cliques. They have Marine Corps cliques that form. Now, when people like me that believed in the hardcore ethos, we do everything to the best of our ability. You know, I wasn't the best Marine. I did my best. I did my best. I did what I could. I wasn't the best, superstar that was everything else. There's some Marines that we had that were like that, but I did everything I was supposed to be doing. I followed the chain of command. I followed my orders. I did what was needed to do. I didn't complain with the working parties. I just went out and did them. But after a couple of years of doing it, and now you're realizing, okay, I'm the senior Marine now. This is my second tour in Iraq. Why am I still doing this stuff when these junior Marines, this is their first enlistment, aren't doing this, but every time I see them, they're hanging out with the guys that I came in with who had gotten promoted when I didn't get promoted. So why are they promoted, and why are these guys that are promoted, they aren't exactly, they rarely ever did these working parties, which never made sense to me. It's like the guys are always getting promoted would rarely do the working parties. They'd rarely do the crap details. They're always just hanging out with the staff NCOs and the NCOs and stuff like that. We're like, what the heck is going on? We just could. It's just a really bad taste that I had in my mouth. And there were several of the Marines were all the same way. We're like, this is screwed up. Something's not right here. What happens is you have these Marines that think outside of the box. Some of them think outside the box when it comes to different things. Like, well, why are we doing all this crazy, rock moving when we could have just done this and it would have saved a lot of less energy. We'd have gotten done better or something like that. And we'll talk to our team leaders or something like that with that. And what happens? They shout and scream at you and tell you to go into a different working party. It's even harder than the one that you were doing before. You're like, well, that doesn't make any sense to me. If you think outside of the box, you're no longer, in that clique. You can't think outside the box. You do what I tell you to, regardless of what it is, even how stupid it is. You do it. Doesn't mean I ever have to do it because I don't have to do it because I never had to do it because I'm buddies with these Marines and they never made me do it. But guess what? You're not like us, so you're gonna do it and you're gonna keep doing it for your next 4 years and hopefully you'll get out or something like that. I don't know what was going in their mind, but that's just what it seemed like to me and a couple of the guys. No matter what we did, no matter how hard we worked, no matter how much heart we put into things, we would always get thrown in the back burner. That was because we didn't fit in with these little groups of friends that created. And these groups of friends were the only ones getting promoted. That's it. They were the only ones getting promoted. I didn't realize it at a time, but it turned out at some point I was non-rec'd. So what that means is non-recommended. So you can't get promoted. I was like, what the heck is going on? I'm doing everything that everyone else is doing. I'm not the best runner, but I do my best when it comes to running. I do my MCTs. I do my training. I'm not dumb when it comes to, doing this stuff. I know what I'm doing when it comes to clearing buildings. Why the heck am I non-rec'd? And it was because at that time, I don't want to try to make myself into a victim because I was just dealing with it at the time. But I was literally getting made fun of, pretty much like bullied is the best way you can explain it, through these massive cliques. It's just like, what the heck is going on? So they're like, okay, we don't like this guy, he complains about I started complaining after doing those working parties for almost 4 straight years. I started complaining, like, this is bullshit. I'm like, the junior Marines should be doing this shit, not me. I'm like, they are just getting into the Corps. They need to be doing that shit. And then what would happen when I would say that? They would come and shout at me. The sergeants who I served with, who I came in with, who I'm still a Lance Corporal and they're a sergeant now or corporal now, start shouting at me to shut the fuck up and go do that. Go do the shit that you're told to do. And then those little groups that go hang out together and they never have to do those working parties or anything like that. And then the junior Marines like us are treated like, I wasn't even a junior Marine at the time, but the other Marines that didn't fit into that clique, that thought outside of it, that, still stuck with those values, that had those values into us. and we're stuck doing all this stuff, and it just drained us and drained us and drained us. So when my time of enlistment was coming up, I had recently gotten married and stuff like that too. And as much as I wanted to make a career out of it, I just couldn't do it anymore. I just could not do it anymore. The crap that was going on, to me, it felt like the Marine Corps that I thought it was. The Marine Corps that I had, prided myself in as a teenager. The Marine Corps that I joined the boot camp for was broken. It was broken. Now, it's not necessarily about, like the commanding general said, about, it's not about just treating them nicer. It's not about treating them nicer, all right? They need to break up the toxic leadership. That's the biggest problem, the toxic leadership. The people that re-enlist, that come into the Marine Corps, or that re-enlist in the Marine Corps, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of them, they were those, best way to put them, shitbags is the best way you put them, that would avoid all those working parties. They were the professional skaters, what we call them. They skate out of everything, they get out of everything. And they made buddies with all the, the command, or with all the, staff sergeants. And those were the ones that were getting promoted. When the ones that would literally bust our butts on a daily basis, our hands are covered in blisters and our backs are aching nonstop because we're doing 4 times the amount of working parties of anyone else, and we're still doing more working parties than the junior Marines. We just can't take it anymore, because it comes to a point where in your mind it's like, no matter how hard I try to be a Marine, no matter how much heart I put into the Marine Corps, it's broken and I can't do anything about it. And I'm getting non-wrecked, and these people that are just jerks, that are just, that are getting promoted, and they've never had to do the back-breaking work that I've had to do, are getting promoted through the ranks, and they're drinking buddies with all the other, the NCOs and staff NCOs and stuff like that too. Whereas people like me, we're just kind of thrown in the dirt and dragged behind us, and like, we don't care what you are, just go do it. Do what you're told. And it's like, this is stupid. Why the heck am I doing this? And then they all surround you, sergeants, corporals, people that you actually enlisted with, and they all surround you, start shouting at you like drill instructors because you're not doing the job. You're like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, we were told the junior Marines are supposed to do this. I'm not a junior Marine. I was with you guys. And it didn't matter. It just didn't matter to them, because they had formed these closed cliques of groups that kind of lived in their own little world, that didn't care about the Marine Corps, that didn't care about the ethos, that didn't care about honor, courage, commitment. That stuff didn't mean anything to them. What meant anything to them was going out and having another drink with the sergeant that they're kind of hanging out with, so they could get promoted along the way and stuff like that. And then when everyone else had to go out and bust their butt doing stuff, they would go and hide and play Xbox or something like that, and we were stuck freaking, doing the crazy ass working parties. So, but anyway, that's what's going on, guys. When it comes to the Marine Corps, is the couple things that you got to think of is where all the branches of service. Now, I still love the Marine Corps. Like I said, I still love the Marine Corps. That still is in there, in my heart somewhere. I'm like, it's that honor, encouragement. It's got to be there somewhere. It's just part of who I am. I still love the Marine Corps. I love that I served in the Marine Corps. But right now, in the world that we live in, we have a shortness or a lack of people enlisting. And people that were good Marines say, we are not doing this anymore. We've done our 4 years. We're not going to put up with this for another 4 years. We're not going to put up with this crap for another 8 years. We're not going to put up with this toxic leadership. We don't want anything to do with this anymore, so we're done. And then, like me, like every other person that got out of the Marine Corps, when I left the base 20 on Palms, California, more than likely, this is probably what happened. Just about every single person, after the contract goes out and you've turned in all your stuff and you're good to go and you've had your final medical, you leave 29 Palms, California, and you flip it off on your way out. And you never look back. And that's what's going on in the Marine Corps. All the people that want to believe in that ethos are not staying in. They just aren't staying in, because the people that are anti-ethos, that don't care about that stuff, that just don't care about any of that anymore, are the ones that are staying in. And they keep going and they keep getting promoted no matter how much dumb stuff they do, and they never change anything. They never think outside of the box. They just keep doing the same dumb stuff over and over again. They just treat junior Marines, not even junior Marines, even senior Marines that they enlisted with, they treat them like crap, because they don't care about them. All they care about is getting promoted and drinking with their drinking buddies and stuff like that. But anyway, I could go on and on about this. I know there's some people that are going to have some bad comments in this and angry comments, but that's what's going on. That's what I dealt with in the Marine Corps, and I know there's a lot of Marines that are like me that dealt with the same thing, that we just said, screw it, we're done after this 4 years. But that's why the Marine Corps is hurting right now. Anyway, guys, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about me. And remember, guys, it's our responsibility to take care of each other and protect each other. Peace.